children, welcome to the English class. Today I am here to take the lesson from the supplementary book Moments. The name of the lesson is The Lost Child, written by Mulkraj Anand. Generally, young children get attracted by little things around them and often press their parents with the demands to buy those things. Actually, their real happiness lies in being with their parents. That means children get real happiness when they are with their parents. It shows that a child has great love for his parents. The Lost Child is a story about one such boy who cannot be tempted by anything in the absence of his parents. A child is attracted towards most of the things he comes across in daily life. He wants to have all the things that he is attracted to. But very often, the parents are not able to fulfill the wishes of the child. This may be due to two reasons. Either they are not able to afford it, or they feel that a particular thing is not good for the child. The child may not understand this and may even feel angry. But the child understands the worth of his parents in their absence. He longs for his parents and cries for them. In this story, we find the child crying for his parents where he gets lost and nothing else matters to him. Let's go to the lesson. It is a day of spring festival. All the villagers were going brightly dressed to a fair. Some walked, some rode on horses, others sat being carried in bamboo and bullock carts. A little boy and his parents were also among them. The boy was excited and thrilled to see the small toy shops on the way and the flies and bees in the fields. His parents kept calling him over and reminded him to walk beside them. At last they reached the fair. The boy was very happy and bewildered, confused and surprised. He saw many things and many shops. He saw a sweetmeat seller, sweet food at the entrance. Burfi was displayed on the counter. The boy was tempted to have it. He demanded the sweet half-heartedly. The little boy demanded the sweet half-heartedly because he knew that instead of buying it for him, his parents would term him greedy because he was asking whatever things he saw in the fair. He was asking all the things. So his parents would term him greedy. Then they moved on and soon came across a flower seller, and the boy was fascinated by the gulmohar garlands. He made a faint demand. He did not press his parents to buy it because he knew very well his parents wouldn't buy anything. Before moving on these points, so let me tell you the previous points. It is a day of a spring festival. All the villagers were going brightly dressed to a fair. A little boy and his parents were also among them. The boy was excited and thrilled to see the small toy shops on the way and the flies and bees in the fields. His parents kept calling him over and reminded him to walk beside them. At last, they reached the fair. The boy was happy and confused and surprised because at the fair there are so many toy shops, sweet shops, so many things that attracted the boy. He saw a sweetmeat seller at the entrance. Sweet food, burfi. I think we like burfi, isn't it? The burfi was displayed on the counter. The boy was tempted to have it. He demanded to his parents, the sweet half-heartedly, because his parents would term him greedy, because he was asking the parents whatever things he was seeing in the fair, he wanted to get it. So his parents would term him greedy. Then they moved on. Soon they came across a flower seller. The boy was fascinated, attracted by the gulmohar garlands. Then he made a faint demand. He did not press his parents to get it. He knew very well that his parents wouldn't buy anything. Then moving on, they saw a balloon seller. So after seeing the gulmohar garlands, now they moved on. So when they were moving on, they saw a balloon seller. The boy was thrilled to see the bright colored balloons, and he knew that his parents wouldn't buy it because they thought that he was too old to play with balloon. Next, a snake charmer playing the flute drew his attention. So the flute music drew his attention. He saw there was a snake charmer playing the flute. So the boy moved towards him. So he was attracted by the music, the flute music. The boy moved towards him just a little, but he withdrew his steps. That means he moved back his steps because his parents had forbidden him to hear such rough music. His parents did not allow him to move forward because it was a rough music. They were not allowing him to hear such rough music. Before this, the little boy, he was attracted by the sweet and then gulmohar garlands and brightly colored balloons, and then he was attracted by a snake charmer. He was playing the flute, but his parents refused to get those things and refused to move towards the snake charmer. Then they did not allow him to hear such rough music, and then they moved on. Next, on moving ahead, the child was charmed and he was attracted, he was fascinated by a roundabout in full swing. I think children, you all like to ride in a roundabout, isn't it? So same this little boy also like to have a ride in roundabout. So this time he failed to resist his desire. So before that, whenever his parents refused to get those things, he didn't feel it. But this time he failed to resist. He did not stop to ask his parents to have a ride. So he made a bold request to allow him to go on the roundabout. See, he liked very much to have a ride in the roundabout. So every time whenever he asked the things whatever he liked, his parents replied immediately. But this time the child didn't get any reply. So just he turned back. He turned to look at them. He was shocked because his parents were not there. He couldn't see anywhere near him. He was shocked. He got extremely scared and started crying. He ran here and there but couldn't find. So a little boy and his parents, they went to a fair, and the boy was excited and very thrilled to see the small toy shops and sweet shops, and on the way he was attracted by the flies and bees in the fields, and on the way his parents kept calling him over and they reminded him to walk beside them. And after reaching the fair, the boy was very happy and to see the sweet shop, and then he was attracted by the flower seller selling gulmohar garlands, and he asked his parents to get a sweet
his parents wouldn't get the sweet, and also after fascinated by the Gulmohar garlands, also his parents wouldn't buy that. Next, when they were moving on, he saw a balloon seller selling brightly colored balloons. He liked that balloons and he wanted to play with the balloon, but his parents did not get it, and they told he was too old to play with balloons. And after that, he saw a snake charmer. He was playing the flute. That flute music drew his attention, and the boy tried to move towards him. Suddenly he moved back his steps because his parents, they stopped him and they said he should not hear such rough music. So they stopped him. So he moved back, and next the child was charmed, attracted by a roundabout. Okay, to go, he wanted to go in on the roundabout. This time he couldn't stop his desire. Okay, he boldly asked, he requested his parents to allow him to go on roundabout. But this time he didn't get reply anything from his parents. So just he turned back and he looked at them. He was shocked because his parents did not, they were not there. He couldn't see them anywhere, and he got extremely scared and he started crying. He ran here and there at the fair, but he couldn't find, so started crying. And then after that he rushed in panic, in confusion. He rushed, he scared. He couldn't find his parents anywhere and he was confused, and he rushed. He ran fast to a shrine, to a temple was crowded with the people, and he tried to make his way through the feet of this crowd, because the shrine, the temple was full of crowded people. So he tried to make his way through the feet of this crowd, and he was knocked down and began crying loudly. Okay, he fell down when he was going through the feet of the crowd. He fell down and started crying loudly. A man saw, and he heard his cries, the little boy's cries, and he saved him from being trampled. That means from being hurt. He fell down when he was going through the feet of the crowd. So a man heard the little boy's cry and he saved the little boy. And the man lifted the little boy in his arms, and the kind man, he was very kind. He saved the boy from being trampled, from being hurt. So that kind man, he asked the boy, how had he got there? How did he come to the fair? And who took him there? And whose baby he was? And he started asking about the boy, how he was at the fair. And the child did not answer anything. He was very scared. The child, he was very scared. He did not want to speak to anybody. This man, he was very new to him and he was scared. The little boy was scared. So he did not answer anything and he kept crying, started crying, continued his crying and asking for his parents. He was searching and started crying very loudly. At the fair, the little boy missed his parents and he was scared and started crying, and he ran here and there and he rushed in panic, in confusion, in fear. He rushed towards a shrine, a temple which was crowded. When he tried to move through the feet of that crowd, he was knocked down and started crying loudly. Then a kind man heard his cries and he saved him from being hurt, and he lifted him in his arms, and he was asking him how he got there and whose baby he was, who was his parents and how he came there. So the kind man, he was asking him. But the scared child, he did not answer and he kept crying and he was asking for his parents. This good man, kind man, he tried to soothe him. That means he tried to console him. Okay. to make the little boy calm, and he took him to the roundabout, and he offered, the kind man, he was offering to get him a ride on a horse to stop his crying. Okay, this kind man, so he tried to console this boy, so he took the little boy to the roundabout and he offered to get him a ride on a horse. But the child wanted only his mother and father. He wanted only his parents. And then kind man, he took the little boy to the snake charmer, the balloon seller, and the flower seller one by one. He offered to fulfill, the kind man, he offered to fulfill all the wishes that he had made just a little while ago. So before he missed his parents, whatever things he was asking his parents, but the child wanted only his mother and father, his parents. Then the kind man took him to the snake charmer, the balloon seller, and the flower seller one by one. So the kind man offered to fulfill all wishes that the little boy had made just a while ago. So before missing his parents, whatever the little boy he was asking his parents to get, so this kind man offered him to fulfill. But the child turned down all the offer. That means he refused. So whatever he liked very much before, now he did not want anything. He refused all the offers. The kind man, he offered all the things, but this little boy refused all the offers. He did not want anything. He did not want a ride on a horse. He did not want to see the snake charmer, balloons, or Gulmohar garden. So he did not want anything. He just wanted his parents and nothing else. Okay. So he wanted only his parents. Okay children, let's recall the story. Okay. So it is a day of spring festival. A little boy and his parents, they went to a fair. The boy was very excited and he was very thrilled to see small toy shops on the way, and also he was fascinated by and was attracted by the flies and bees in the fields, and he was very happy. And at last they reached the fair. There the boy was very happy and bewildered because there are so many shops and so many toy shops were there, and he saw a sweet seller selling burfi, and he displayed burfi on the counter. The boy was tempted to have it. He requested his parents to get it, but they did not get burfi. Then they moved on. Then he came across a flower seller. The flower seller was selling Gulmohar garlands. It looked very beautiful, and the boy was fascinated by the Gulmohar garlands, and he wanted to get it. So this time also his parents, they didn't get anything. Next they moved on. He saw a balloon seller selling brightly colored balloons. Okay, he was attracted by brightly colored balloons. He wanted to play with it, but his parents refused to get, by telling he was too old to play with the balloon. Next, he was attracted by a snake charmer. The snake charmer was playing the flute. That music drew his attention. When the boy tried to move towards him, suddenly he moved back because his parents stopped him and they told him not to hear such rough music. The boy was very sad. He did not get anything from his parents. Then they moved forward. So when they were moving, the child was attracted. Again, he was attracted by roundabout. Okay. But this time he couldn't stop his desire. Okay. So he boldly requested his parents that he wanted to go on the roundabout. When he turned back, when he looked at them, he was shocked because his parents were not there. So he got scared, extremely scared, and started crying. And he ran here and there, but he couldn't find his parents. And he rushed in panic. He rushed in fear, in confusion, where his parents were. So he rushed towards a shrine, a temple which was crowded. When he tried to move through the feet of this crowd, he was knocked down. Okay, and then began crying loudly. So on hearing his cries, a man came towards him and saved him from being hurt. And a kind man lifted this little boy in his arms and asked him how he was there, who took him here to the fair. But the scared child, he did not answer, started crying, he continued his cry, okay, kept crying and asking for his parents. And the good man, kind man, tried to console him, okay. To console him, what he did means, he took the little boy to the roundabout. Because this little boy, he liked to go on roundabout, no? So then the good man, he thought that the boy would stop his crying. So he took him to the roundabout and he was offering to get him a ride on a horse. But this little child did not want anything. He wanted only his mother and father. Then after this he refused to go on a ride on a horse. Then this kind man, he took the little boy to the snake charmer, the balloon seller, the flower seller. One by one he took the little boy. But this little boy, he refused all the offers given by the kind man. So before missing his parents, he wanted all those. But after the absence of his parents, he refused all the offers. He just wanted his parents and nothing else. Here, this story, The Lost Child, it describes an episode in the life of a child who gets lost in a fair. Okay, children, this story describes an episode in the life of a child. All the incidents in the story are about this child. So the author here gives a contrast behavior of the child before and after getting lost, his parents. So before missing his parents, what? He liked to get sweet and so many things he wanted to have. But the same things after getting lost, he refused all the offers. In the absence of his parents, he did not want anything things what he liked before. So now by this story we can understand the psychology of little children, especially during the absence of their parents. Okay, children? Okay, I think you are clear in this story.